Hello friends, welcome to Echo Tales family. 3 brothers had everything they ever dreamed of, yet happiness still slipped through their fingers, until one old woman taught them a lesson they'd never forget. Once upon a time, deep at the edge of a quiet forest, there lived 3 brothers, Samuel, Timothy, and Xander. They were honest, hard-working, and humble men. Every morning, they would go into the woods to cut trees, and every evening, they returned home carrying heavy bundles of wood. They sold the wood in the market and earned enough to live a simple life. But deep inside, the brothers were never truly happy. Even though their days were peaceful, their hearts were restless. Each one longed for something more. One afternoon, as the brothers were returning home, they noticed an old woman, frail and bent with age, struggling under the weight of a heavy sack. Without hesitation, they rushed to help her. "Let us carry it for you, grandmother," said Samuel kindly. The old woman smiled. "My sack is filled with apples I gathered from the forest," she said. The brothers took turns carrying the load all the way to her small cottage. By the time they arrived, they were exhausted, but their hearts felt light. What they didn't know was that this woman was no ordinary person. She was blessed with magical powers, and she was deeply moved by their kindness. "Good men," she said softly. "You helped me without expecting anything in return. Tell me, what is it that your hearts desire most?" The brothers looked at each other. Samuel spoke first. "I wish for a grand mansion with many servants. That would make me happy." Timothy smiled. "I wish for a vast farm full of golden crops, so I never have to worry about money again." Then Xander said quietly, "I wish for a beautiful wife, whose smile would bring joy to my heart every day." The old woman nodded. "If these are your wishes, then go home. For tonight you shall find exactly what you long for." The brothers hurried home. To their amazement, beside their small cottage stood a magnificent mansion. Servants bowed and welcomed Samuel inside. Nearby, golden fields stretched far and wide, and a farmer told Timothy the land was his. And as Xander stood in awe, a graceful maiden appeared and smiled softly. "I am your wife," she said. The brothers were overjoyed. Their dreams had come true. They thanked their stars and began their new lives full of happiness and abundance. But time passed, and things began to change. Samuel grew tired of his mansion. He became lazy and careless. Timothy lost interest in his fields. The joy of the harvest no longer excited him. And Xander, who once adored his wife, began to take her for granted. Once again, the brothers were unhappy. One day, they decided to visit the old woman again. They found her cooking stew in her little cottage. Mother said, "Timothy, you gave us everything we wished for, yet we are unhappy again. Please tell us what we are missing." The old woman smiled gently. "My dear children," she said, "happiness does not come from wealth, beauty, or comfort. When your wishes were granted, you were happy for a while, but happiness cannot live long without contentment. If your heart is never satisfied, even the greatest blessings will feel empty." The brothers realized their mistake and returned home. They began to value what they had. Samuel took care of his mansion with love and attention. Timothy worked joyfully in his fields again, and Xander cherished his wife and appreciated her presence. From that day on, the brothers never took their blessings for granted. They learned that true happiness lies not in having more, but in being thankful for what we already have. And so, they lived happily ever after. And in the end, they learned the simplest truth of life. Happiness isn't found in what we have, but in being grateful for it.